on to the next video. So this is another one one of you requested that I watch. So it's from Vice, and it's the woman that alleges the sexual and physical abuse by Andrew Tate. Now, for the Andrew Tate news, right? Today, a lot of stuff came out today about him, actually. So the court documents came out from what the prosecutors over in Romania has stated, and the Romanian lawyer, Andrew Tate's Romanian lawyer, and plus the Romanian lawyer video I did on my channel, they both came out today saying the same thing, essentially on what the documents stated. So they're really only holding Andrew, his brother, and the two other people because two women have came forward and stated that they were, you know, abuse and stuff, but they don't have any evidence for that. They only have like their words, which was done by it said an extrajudicial person is the one that got their statements. So nobody in like actual police or court got their statements. So they're going off of what some other people documented and put out to the world. And because there's no actual evidence, the whole reason they're being detained for 30 days is so they can find evidence, which is what Myron said in like the 2-part video I did on my channel. And then what else was it? They have court tomorrow, and they're going to determine what's going to happen from there. Andrew's lawyer thinks everything is cool. They should be fine, because when they asked to see the documentation from the defendants or prosecutors, I forgot what their names are, but he asked for their documentation because they have to build a case on what they have, and they couldn't give them anything because they straight up said there was really no evidence to give. So that was what the courts and the lawyers have stated. That was all documentation. It was like a couple pages long. And then from there, Andrew went to the hospital. So the media has put out that Andrew has nodes on his lungs, and they took him to the hospital to see if it was cancerous. Now, my mom has nodes on her lungs, so she had to kind of do the same thing. So that sounds pretty legit and realistic, you know what I'm saying? But then Andrew's team came out, his lawyers and his managers, and they stated Andrew is healthy and fine, and they didn't have no idea why they took him to the hospital. He doesn't have nodes on his lungs. So they saying that is cap. That's not real. And then the two women that the Romanian government claimed were the ones that came forward and said that he was like, they saying they were arped and abused and all that. They came forward on Romanian news live and basically said they didn't say nothing and that didn't happen. They said the government is lying on them. So it looks like Andrew gonna be fine, but we gonna see what Vice has to say about this, because Vice dropped this 4 days ago, but this is a clip from a very longer piece that they're actually putting out on the 12th. So yeah, we gonna see what happens. Oh, and it says it right there. So yeah, we gonna see. But that's everything happening with the Tate brothers, plus the other two people, because there is two other people that the media just ain't talking about.
Sally was approached by Andrew when she was 20. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she's withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex, and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night I would work, but...
Wait a minute. He bought 5 bottles for her to get loose because she was scared to do cam work. But then she said he didn't drink. So she drank 5 bottles of alcohol by herself? That's a lot for one person. And she wasn't blackout drunk? She fully remembers all of this and she wasn't blackout drunk? I don't know how much I believe that. 5 bottles of alcohol is a lot to still sit here and remember everything that happened to you that night. That sounds like a lot. But...
as soon as he handed me my money, I soon forgot about him hitting me and everything else. And it was just like, wow, I've got all this money now. Like, he would just pay me a flat fee of £15 an hour, which back then was fantastic. I was making £5 an hour at my 9-to-5 job. But when you look at the money that I was actually bringing in, it just doesn't even scratch the surface.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
Yeah, so when we moved into the bigger apartment, that's when more girls started coming into the apartment to work for Andrew. And that's when I just witnessed so much, like, verbal, physical, not just to me, but the other women involved. And it just got worse over time. Andrew would call us lazy hoes. I saw him smack girls with a belt because she wanted a lion. He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom. Me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him and
hold on, we missed she skipped, either Vice skipped something or she skipped something. She said they used to sleep in the bed with him, but then by this point, the other girl now had a partner. How did she get a partner? How did she get somebody she's physically dating if she's laid up with this guy? How did that happen? I'm only saying this because, like, everybody that's hung out with Andrew or been around him says the girls have free roam to come and go as they please. Which means if that's true, using this story, because she just said that one chick now had a partner, so she didn't start the cam biz with a boyfriend, but now she has a boyfriend. Did she leave? Did she leave the house and met the dude in the city and then went back to the apartment she shared with Andrew? Alright, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of all stories at this point.
When he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, oh, I don't give a if you call the police, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. That's kind of when I knew, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. They didn't take me in for questioning, they didn't interview me. The other girl that he had, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview, and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update, I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The case was only closed in late 2019 after a case file had been sent to the Crown Prosecution Service and they took the decision not to prosecute. All those involved in the investigation were further updated at the time. The Crown Prosecution Service said, in this case we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complainant and concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction.
Wait, the Crown Prosecution, this is from when he was in England. Yeah, it says it down here. Okay, rewind real quick. For those that don't know, the whole reason Andrew left England is because those girls that came out, so the one talking, and she said there was another one, came out and said he did all this stuff to them, and he was locked up, and they, mind you, England's legal system is way better than Romania's. Romania's is pretty small and corrupt and messed up. And out of everything they did, because they didn't like Andrew Tate in England either, so it's not like he was had a bunch of fans like he did over here. They didn't even like him in England before he got to Romania. So the fact that they had all that evidence and they still was like, nah, nothing passes. Because I remember this story too. It turned out that those girls ended up lying. That's why the police dropped it. Okay. I'm thinking these are two new girls for like the new stuff. This is the chick from this time period. Okay, well, Whoops, I ain't mean to do that. I don't know. I don't know if I really believe her now if the evidence already stated that you was a liar. And I'll be honest with you, like, only reason I'm saying that, I'm one of those girls that I don't believe all women regardless, because I have known many of women to lie on guys that I've known throughout my life. And then when they get caught lying, they be like, oh yeah, I lied because of XYZ. There was like no consequences, so.
We sent a letter to each complainant explaining our decision not to charge.
When he went into Big Brother, that's when they started to take things seriously. He's on TV, we need to get him out. They told me, oh, the producers don't want to release him because he's proving to be entertaining. He was removed because of this ongoing police case. And it kind of just got left at like 2016.
Here's the dad. You decide.
We reached out to Banijay UK, the company behind Big Brother, and they said, as soon as we were made aware by Hertfordshire Police on the 8th of June 2016 that Andrew Tate was being investigated by the police, we began a process of extensive consultation with Channel 5 and legal teams, including the lawyers representing Andrew Tate. During this period, and whilst we sought to clarify the details required by Channel 5 on the police investigation, Andrew was closely monitored at all times. He was removed from the house on the 13th of June. And since then, has...
So we have from Admiral Dewey, he says, after the punch, she sleeps with him. Then he slapped butts, because I don't cuss. And she stays through all this. Now she's upset. Doesn't sound credible to the police. It's not going to sound credible to it don't sound credible to me either. Because I'm just saying, why would you stay through all of that? And it still sounds like you must have had free roam at some point because one of the girls left and got a boyfriend. So how did that happen? Like, did you get I don't know. I have no idea. None of it sounds real. Oh, Squirrel the World is back. She back. The gray-haired guy is Dr. Robert Malone, the inventor of RNA tech and outspoken against fact. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know who that old guy was in the beginning. But somebody in the chat told me who JP Sears was. That's how we ended up on their video. mRNA, okay. I'm gonna have to look into him too.
Anything come of it?
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence. We're not going to take it to court.
You witnessed the rape occurring. Did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove. Very difficult.
In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported result in a charge, let alone a conviction.
I think people have this perception that if you tell someone that you've been that person instantly goes to prison. They don't realise that it's so hard to convict someone of.
In a statement issued via...
No, the best way to do it, so if you guys know what's going on with the other big Twitch streamer, his name is Kai Cenat. This girl went to his New Year's Eve party, and she said she was ARPed by one of his friends there in a bedroom upstairs while the party was going on in the lower level of the house. As soon as it was over, she went straight to the hospital, she got an ARP kit done, and she filed a police report. That's what you're supposed to do, because you have to prove you got ARPed, right? That is the best way to prove it, because you don't take a shower, you don't wash it off, you don't sit on it for days, months, and years. You have to do it immediately. That is the best way to catch somebody in the act. If you're going to sit there and you watch it happen, and then you continue sleeping with this guy and drinking and having a grand old time, and then time goes by, you're just like, I can't do this anymore, and then go to the police, that's very hard to prove. And if you're that serious about it, yeah, there's a lot wrong with this to begin with before we ever even got to this point in her story, because ain't no way a guy gonna come to me and be like, I think you'd be great for the cam business. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, run it. Let's do it. Like, no.
By his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied assault or rape. He said, they wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me. Sally said, the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge...
Hold on, run it back real quick. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me. Why even interview these people then? If that's literally what the police found on their phones, what are we talking about? And I can see why this got tossed out, because this is the girl from the past. And then, like I said before this, the two girls from the future literally said that they never went to the government and said anything. They was like, yeah, they're lying.
Planning to lie about me. Sally said the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk.
You know, you see all these young men talking about how he's such a great guy and he's their idol and stuff, and that's so difficult to see. There are better role models out there. Don't be fooled by all the money and the nice cars and all the women. Working on yourself and becoming a better man and better mindset, yeah, but real men don't lay their hands on women.
I don't know. I don't know, Vice. I don't know. And the timing on that too is wild, because they find out their decision tomorrow. So if there's no evidence and they get released tomorrow, that special report's really going to mean nothing on the 12th. And then, of course, Vice turned the comments off. Yeah, that's highly sus.